mask, come out of the brawl, and Jose fights with his hook at the time. Now he's Kurt Robinson.
This is the San Gennaro Festival. For almost a century, it's been Little Italy's great public celebration. For a long time, it was how outsiders experienced my neighborhood. The place my grandparents immigrated to from Sicily, the place my parents were born, the place I was raised. What I saw and learned here is everywhere in my pictures, even when they're not set in Little Italy. When I was growing up, there were all kinds of little neighborhood festivals going on. My Uncle Mike shot these home movies in the early 40s of the San Gandolfo Festival. It was always tension.
Damn!
It was always none of this business of the happy immigrants jumping and dancing and doing tarantellas. I wasn't born into that Lower East Side tension. I was born in the peace and greenery of Corona, Queens in 1942. And I loved it. I loved Corona, Queens. It was 2 family houses. There was a little yard in the back, a little tree. Because of the severe asthma, and it was severe, I was sort of isolated from everybody else. And so in this isolation, I was made to think of myself that I couldn't do anything. Coming from a place like Queens, which to me was heavenly. Forest Hills, you could go to the park. I mean, you go to the park, I'd still wind up with an asthma attack, but at least I saw the trees. I saw something, it was amazing. And then to be thrown into this place, which was pretty rough, I must say. Rough in a good sense. You see it in all the old movies in the 30s and 40s and 50s. You see the East Side, the dead-end kids.
I recorded a movie, my name is Juliana.
Kids run up and down the street. You played with what you had. You had garbage pail became a shield. The orange crates that you rip off one of the pieces of wood, it was a sword. But then you had to fight. So it was only by chance or by the, I guess you would call it the extraordinary forces that made all those people get in those boats and come here in the late 19th century, early 20th. My father was a man who was very, very loving, but very strict, and also very much a man who was always dealing with what's right and what's wrong.
The thing is that you talk natural. Don't try to put on that you're not an actress.
I'm not putting on any airs. You're looking for a fight or something.
Talk the way you talk to me when you talk to your son.
You're looking for a fight or something there.
No.
See, Marty, every time I sit close to him, he moves away. I don't know why. It's either, I don't know. Maybe he's getting a little older now,
Changing the subject.
Right?
Changing the subject, huh?
We moved back to Elizabeth Street in Little Italy when I was 7 or 8. It was a 3rd floor walk-up out on the front, on the same block where my father was born. But if you kept going up the stairs, you came to the roof. It was open to the sky, and I loved it there. You could see the whole city. It was as close to heaven as you could get.
You had it wrong.
Charlie, I was right.
What were you right about?
My father should smash the grate with his feet and then put in the thing.
But no, they can't. You mash it once. Oh my God.
Your father didn't have the machine my father had.
You could see a little bit of an Italian-American in the documentary. You can see the difference in my mother and my father. My father's much more stern and more trying to remain a certain dignified air. Every now and then the humor comes out there too. It was pretty brutal humor, whereas my mother's very ironic and funny.
Is that all for today? Now listen, could I put my furniture back?
What furniture?
There are things in here. Could I set up? These things are going to be upset tomorrow again? No, I mean, I can't stay this way.